Hey everybody, it's Zach, aka Zach's Reviews. We're back again with another video, and guys, today is going to be an awesome video. This is a video I've been wanting to do for a very, very long time, especially with all the news, for the Kingsman franchise, with Matthew Vaughn talking about the Kingsman franchise, since, the release of the Kingsman prequel movie, that released, last week, on the 22nd. I thought this would be a very fun video, and I figured why not rank these movies, and I've always wanted to rank these movies, especially, when I heard there was going to be a prequel movie. I was like, okay, this is a good opportunity to finally rank these movies, because I'm shocked I haven't ranked them already, for even the ones we had previously. So I'm super excited. Kingsman, I feel like we really see the fan base growing for this franchise, and I am super excited with all the things Matthew Vaughn has been talking about, whether them be doing spin-off series, whether we're going to get the continuation of the Eggsy storyline in the third film, and with this prequel movie explaining the birth of the Kingsman. And I figured this would be such a perfect video for me to rank these movies on how, and of my favorites to my least favorite. And I'm just super excited to finally get into this, because we have a lot to talk about. So to start off, my number one pick for my favorite Kingsman movie is Kingsman: The Golden Circle. And I know guys are probably like, what? Why would you say Kingsman: The Golden Circle? A lot of people had problems with that movie. I loved that sequel. A lot of people don't like it because of the Statesman, because of the whole bringing Harry back, and because of multiple reasons people didn't like it, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was such a perfect sequel, and I'm going to explain why. I thought it was such a perfect sequel because we see the continuation of Eggsy, after the aftermath of Harry dying, and we really see how that is still affecting him in this movie. And we really see the threat level of how Charlie ends up coming back. And I love that because we never had an understanding of what happened to Charlie, and it makes so much sense that he would want to come after the Kingsman after the events of the first movie. And I really enjoyed it because we start off this movie with a bang, with the coolest chase sequence I've ever seen. It was so stylistic. It's really Matthew Vaughn at his best. He really does really great stylistic shots, and is really good with the action sequences in these Kingsman movies. And I just, and that's what makes these Kingsman movies so, unique and special, is the way the camera work is the way the action is the way the tone is, and is the way the world building is. And that's something Matthew Vaughn thrives at. So that cool chase sequence, when we end up finding out, we see Eggsy, he's really living it up as a Kingsman. We really see how much he's grown from the last movie. And we see, Charlie come back, and that was a shock to Eggsy. And then we see that going forward of, he ends up wondering, he thinks he's beaten Charlie, but then, the HQ blows up, they get all the information, and we wonder, oh my god, what just happened? And we see the bigger villain, that he's been working with Poppy, and Poppy has the agenda of taking out the Kingsman, and pretty much, giving the world, pretty much a mode, pretty much like a, you have to listen to me or this is gonna happen type of situation. And I really enjoyed how in the movie Eggsy and Merlin are the only ones left, and the way that it makes sense because it started. From the last movie, it started with them. They were the ones that had to save the world when, Harry was gone and no other Kingsman, they didn't know who else to trust. This puts them in the position of, they're really on their own. They really need to figure out what's going on, because, when, I'm not going to lie, the saddest moments of this movie is when, Roxy dies, and that was a shock to me. And when they killed off all the Kingsmen, that was a shock to me. And this movie really was not afraid to, take stakes. This movie had stakes. It was not afraid to take risks. This movie did that. This movie gave us so much of an explanation to things that led up to this moment of, we end up finding out there's a Statesman, and it was in their locker, that, their Doomsday Protocol locker. It was a Statesman bottle. And that showed us the American side of the Kingsman. And we opened the door of there's been this American Kingsman agency this entire time, and we only needed to activate it when something like this would happen. And that was such a big moment that we realized, oh my God, this is not just over, in one place. They have an American, agency, the Statesman, and that was such a big moment of holy crap. And the biggest moment is when we end up finding out Harry's alive, and we really see how Eggsy is taking Harry's loss in Kingsman: The Golden Circle. You really can tell by the beginning of this movie, the two things that he is trying to, the three things he's trying to juggle is him being a spy, him trying to work out, and we see, his relationship problems with, Princess Tildy that continues over from the first movie, and he has those roots still that he isn't just turning into a snob that, Eggsy said multiple times to Harry or to everybody. I'm not that person. And even that's why Harry chose him, is because he wasn't a snob, is because he was somebody that he saw potential in. He was somebody that everybody else wouldn't look at, but he saw potential in him. And he still is that person. I feel like that's why people don't like this movie. I'm shocked why people don't like this movie, is because he is still that character that we know and love, and he didn't just turn into just some, some high class ass. He didn't become that. He is still the Eggsy that we love from the first film, and we see him having those normal problems. Even him being a spy, he's still trying to work out a relationship. He's still, dealing with grief with Harry's loss. And I feel like some people really rag on this movie, even though it's literally a great sequel, in the fact of they hit all the right notes. The action's 10 times better than the first movie. The storyline of this movie really fleshes out, Eggsy's character, and especially, where Merlin is going to with his character, and how he feels guilty that, all the Kingsmen got taken out because he didn't, realize that, Charlie's arm was able to hack into the Kingsman database. And seeing how, originally he was an agent, and we get a little bit of an explanation on why he chose to be the man in the chair, and him having those moments with, I think it was, with Ginger Ale, Halle Berry's character. So we really see, the character development all around with the Statesman and with, Eggsy, and how he's dealing with everything, especially when Eggsy and, Merlin find out that Harry's alive, and the Statesman had them all that time, which makes sense because, they show us a flashback of the moment where, in the back of the first movie, where I think they're in Kentucky, if I'm correct, or whatever, and that's how it makes sense how the Statesman found and got the notification and the alert, and then they ended up finding Harry. So it all makes sense, and I really thought that was cool, and it would make sense that, of course, they would come up with this alpha gel that can, heal, shots to the head, or just, if in case of a headshot. It makes sense. Where, why is it so hard to believe that we live in a world where, Eggsy is literally outside the car, jumping off the, jumping, off of the car door in midair, landing on the car, going out, holding on to, the car door, and pretty much getting, putting himself in the trunk. So it's it's the world's already crazy enough, so why is it so crazy to believe that they wouldn't come up with something like that to bring someone back to life? It's just, they had great explanation for everything, and that's why I really enjoyed this movie, especially the ending, where, Eggsy gets payback, for everybody, for everything that, Charlie did to Kingsman, for Roxy, for JB, for, his friends. That was such a sad moment, especially when Merlin ends up dying in this film. That was a sad moment when he's singing his, his favorite song, Country Road. I cried in that moment. I felt something. I was like, this is sad because, we really saw the growth, It started, Like, when he didn't have Harry, he had Merlin. He had someone he could always trust on. Merlin was the person that was in his ear all the time and somebody he could trust. And through all the things that they've been through, he lost another friend. He's lost so many people, and that was real personal to him when he lost Merlin. He's like, what? He's like, I'm tired of this. I lost everybody just because of Charlie and just because of Poppy. This is a problem. And we really see Eggsy's emotion. And right now, he's going through multiple things. He's going through his soon-to-be wife, on smoking weed, and Poppy laced it with a drug that can make people die. and she pretty much made a deal with the president saying, if you give me high power to selling my drugs, I'll give you the antidote so you can save everybody. But the president's a scumbag and says we're just gonna let all the people that do the drugs die. And that's the one thing Matthew Vaughn's so good at. He really shows us even in this fantasized world, he shows us how people are corrupt. And I really enjoy that about how he does that in the movies. And it's like a common thing with the Kingsman movies. It's like every president we've seen, or anybody in the that deals with politics or whatever, is usually like someone that's. It's usually like a little funny thing he calls out on, Matthew Vaughn. So that's just the thing he does with when it comes to anything to do with the presidency or politics. He shows us how it really is, and that was just like really unique how he was able to put that in a world like this, and it would fit in a world like this because it's not too far fetched to the point of let's bring in realism in this crazy world. And I just really enjoyed this movie, especially because we really see the relationship build with Eggsy and Princess Tildy. Most people would not have thought that he would have made a relationship like that, but I believed it. I believe it because he is still that that person that we know and love before he gets the glasses and the suit and tie and becomes a Kingsman. He is still that. That's why we love that character, is because it's his street smart essence and his personality is why we like him. Not just because he wears all this stuff, but because of who he is. And it makes sense how that would continue over into the storyline, which I really appreciated them doing that, because he still is living his normal life. He still has his friends. He's still doing the things that a normal Kingsman wouldn't have done. But he's not any normal Kingsman. And that's why Harry chose him. So I really enjoy those moments. I really enjoy the moments of, when they do find out Harry's alive, and we get those moments between Eggsy and Harry, and he wants Harry to remember, and when Harry does remember, he hugs him, saying how much he missed him, because that was like a father that got taken from him when that happened. It was a father figure to him because he never had his father, he never knew his father, and that was and Harry really stepped up and became that father figure for Eggsy, and that's why it hurt so much when he died. And Merlin, I would say, turned into a father figure when that was like a second father figure to him. So really, I really love what they did in the second movie. That's why I would put it up as number one, along with Eggsy getting married, and I can't wait to see how that's gonna go in the next third film. Of he's married now, and he's retiring now. So that makes me wonder what's gonna happen in the third film. Is he gonna get called back into duty? What is gonna happen? I wonder. But this movie it's not so far-fetched to believe that people can come back from the dead when the movie is how it is. And that's why it shocked me when people didn't like things. I'm like, it's believable. We're already living in the crazy world of this universe. Why is it not believable? And I think it was a good, cool choice that they chose to bring him back, in my personal opinion. It really showed us that, that it really was a meaningful moment, and it was a great way to bring in the statesman. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good, and it really prolongs the story on where will the story end with the two, because Matthew Vaughn was dabbling on it, saying we're really going to go in deep with Harry and Eggsy's relationship in the third film, and I'm really excited because they're starting filming in September of 2022, if I'm correct. So I'm super excited for that. But my second. We're going on to my second, choice. My second choice, will be the first Kingsman movie, which of course is Kingsman, Secret Service, which I really enjoy. The Kingsman Secret Service. I mean, who doesn't? I mean, that movie literally changed everything. That movie really was the pinnacle of everybody learning about one-shots and stuff. That movie really was like the movie that everybody looked to for one-shots. And I mean, why? And I understand why, because that movie really opened the door to me on, holy crap, how come I didn't want to see this movie? Because I shit you not, when I saw trailers for this movie, I just didn't care. And so my sister's like, this is going to be a really good movie. I don't know what you're talking about, this and that. She went to go see Cinderella, and I went to go see the movie just because there was nothing else to see. And little did I know, I fell in love with this franchise. I fell in love with the Kingsman movies. And this movie just gave us a whole nother level of thinking about being a spy. Because from what everybody knew, from spy genre movies. Like, this changed the spy genre movie, because when we think about spies, we think about James Bond. That's what we think about. We think about Mission Impossible. But this movie changed everything. The world building, the action, the character development, the stylistic fight sequences. Like, this movie really is the pinnacle of thinking and taking spy genres to a whole nother level. Especially, like, the cool ways of, like, you know, like when Harry first explains, you know, the Kingsman, and how, you know, everybody lost their heirs to World War I, and they had a lot of money that they wanted to put to good use, and then that's how the Kingsman started. And that was really cool to hear all that, and to really see this agency that was just there this entire time. And the story of Eggsy's father was a Kingsman agent, but he died sacrificing himself for Harry. And we really see that, you know what I mean, that out of all the Kingsmen, when they're recruiting to get a new Kingsman, Harry was the only one to believe that someone outside of having, you know what I mean, royalty could be someone special and could come in and really show people this is the true essence of being a Kingsman. You know what I mean? Like, let's stop being snobs, and anybody can be a Kingsman. And we really saw that with Eggsy, and how he was a person that stole cars, did all these things, and he ended up being the best of them. Even that's what, you know, Harry said, you know, his father was the best of them, if not the best. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Because, well, I forget what his name was. I'm trying to remember. It's, I think it was not Lancelot. It was, Arthur. You know what I mean? He pretty much, like, turned against Harry's program, saying, you know what I mean, just give it up. You're not going to turn, you know, one of these low lives into being a Kingsman. That's not possible. Just give up on your little experiments. But he's like, you know what I mean, you know, you're a snob, Arthur. You know what I mean? You know, anybody can be a Kingsman. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that young man sacrificing himself. He was Kingsman material more than the rest of us. And I really appreciate that this is the way of Harry to honor Eggsy's father, and is a way to him to try to repay Eggsy's father for what he did for Harry. And we really see that of Eggsy, you know, of Harry becoming a father figure to Eggsy in this film. And I really enjoy that, and him meeting friends on the way, him meeting Roxy, becoming friends with Merlin, him, you know what I mean, him really finding his own in this movie and finding his place in the world, and what he should be doing in the world. And I really enjoy that of this movie, is we really see that. And of course, you know, what a great villain of this movie with, you know, Samuel L. Jackson's portray of, you know, of Richard Valentine. Like, he killed it in this role. He played this, like, you know what I mean, this mogul, this internet mogul. And I really appreciated how it made sense in a way. He had like a Thanos complex of how he wanted to save the world from you know what I mean, from people. He wanted to stop, you know what I mean, global warming. He wanted to stop pollution, and he said the only way to stop, you know, the world from dying is to kill people. He had that Thanos complex of, oh, to save everybody, I needed to wipe out everybody to save everybody, to save Earth and all this stuff. He had that Thanos complex, and that's what I really enjoyed about this movie, is that he did it first. He had that complex of, to save everybody, I need to take everybody out. And it's like, not many people talk about that, but kind of, you know what I mean, Valentine did it first. So what, technically not, of course, you know, due to the comics, but from what people know, Valentine did it first. But I really enjoyed Samuel L. Jackson's portrayal when he added the lisp, and he added, you know, this him being, you know what I mean, like, just, you know, very interesting. Not your normal villain, like, you know, not your normal, like, a twisting, you know, mustache Bond villain. No, like a real villain, but a villain that a lot of people somewhat can get behind, because he was trying to save the planet, but just in the wrong way. Same as how people have trouble thinking it was Thanos wrong in the situation. And that's what I really love about that, is that we can really, like, you know what I mean? Like, we could be like, it's really messed up what he's doing, but he's trying to save the planet, which a lot of people will respect. So, I mean, I love that about the character, and I love, of course, how he has, Gazelle or Giselle. I think it's Giselle or Gazelle. I forget what it is, but I always think about, you know, Gazelle, because, you know, she's kind of, you know, she's very, you know, agile with it, and she has like those prosthetic knife sword inside, which was sick. And I really loved how he had like a minion, if I'm, you know what I mean, like somebody that does the fighting for him, and I loved that. How he was just the person that did all the things, but he wasn't the person that did the fighting, did the killing, and he was just the person that just sent out, Gazelle to kill everybody and do all this, do that, and I loved that about Gazelle. So I really enjoyed the first movie, especially when he's doing all the training, of course, that's so, like, that set the bar of, holy crap, this is insane, with him having the training sequence where he's just, sleeping, ends up finding out there's water, and he has to hold his breath and try to figure out a way out of the room, and them thinking about the double, sided glass, and he was the only one to think about that, and they made jokes saying you've probably seen a lot of them, due to his past of him, stealing cars, doing all this stuff, but he did it for his mother. He did it, and he said, even calls out to Harry, saying, you have no right to judge me, because this is what you never think about why we do what we do. But he said, if I had a silver spoon up my ass, we would do just as good as you, if not better. So we really see that, like, while they're hating on it, he is Kingsman material. He's someone that thinks outside the box, someone that isn't just some rich person that doesn't think like that. He thinks street smarts. He thinks of a way of a Kingsman. I really enjoyed how Harry saw that within him. Samus, how he saw it within his father. And I just really enjoyed it, especially the big fight sequence at the end of this movie where he ends up fighting Gazelle, and he is struggling. And we really see him on the tip of his toes, literally, him being cornered in, him being overrun with these soldiers, and we get the stylistic head explosion scene, which is such an iconic sequence that everybody talks about still to this day, is that sequence of the heads exploding. It's so known in the Kingsman movies with the heads exploding, and the big sequence. Of course, the main sequence everybody knows is the one shot with Harry in the church where he is wrecking shop, and that might be the best one shot. I think it still is the best one shot we've ever seen, ever, like, hands down. I haven't seen anything possibly that could beat that one shot still to this day, because again, Matthew Vaughn has camera work. Matthew Vaughn is somebody that I feel like is so underappreciated because the man is a genius. His world building, this is the same dude that did Kick-Ass. Like, come on, like, he knows how to make cinema, he knows how to make movies and have great cinematography. The dude's a genius. I love the man. But like, he gave this movie in such an iconic IP, something people recognize. People recognize the church sequence. People recognize the heads exploding. People recognize the Kingsman logo. This is such a big franchise right now, especially the casting the people he casts is such overall great casting. It's so, it's just an all-star cast. Especially, what a genius to take a chance on Taron Egerton, because Taron Egerton is the most sought-after actor after Kingsman. That was his big role, Kingsman. And that's what made me love Taron Egerton, is this movie. This movie introduced me to Taron Egerton. And I really can, can't thank Matthew Vaughn enough, because I love Taron Egerton. Anything the man does, he's a chameleon. He literally can do anything he sets his mind to, and he kills it every time. He's a genius. He's already doing Sing 2. He's done so many movies. It's insane. And he just got done, of course, filming Sing 2. It's been out for a while now. And I think he's already filming something else. Like, the man never stops. He's killing it. He's killing it. And I'm hoping he gets cast as Wolverine. That is my Wolverine. I think he'd kill it. Right when I saw him in Kingsman, and right when I saw Logan, and Logan ended, and we knew Hugh Jackman was going to retire, I said Taron Egerton would kill it. And now everybody is saying Taron Egerton would kill it as Wolverine. I don't want to say I started it, but like, I kind of like, I was on it. I was on it from square one. I said he would kill it. And I knew it. I kind of saw it in Eddie the Eagle, because it was Kingsman, and then I think it was Sing, or it was Eddie the Eagle, then Sing. And I said, oh my God, because it was impressive how he went from Kingsman to Eddie the Eagle. I'm like, holy crap, this dude's a chameleon. He's a rare breed of actor that can just do anything, and we don't just see Taron Egerton. We don't just see, you know what I mean? We see whatever person he is playing, and we think he is that person. I love that. And not many actors and actresses can do that. That's what's so special about Taron. He's a chameleon. Not many people can do that in the industry, and he does it, and he kills it. So I just cannot. I hope he is cast as Wolverine, and if you guys want to learn more about why I think that and all that stuff, go check out my video about why I think Taron Egerton should be Wolverine or whatever. I forget what I titled it, but I'll have it right up here. But go check out that video because I hope so, Kevin, if you're watching, which you're probably not, but you never know. But honestly, guys, I love the first Kingsman movie, but there's something about Golden Circle that I just thought I really felt the emotion in that movie. I really, really felt, I cried when Merlin died, and I cried multiple times in that movie because it was just so good. It was such a great sequel. Just at the end when Eggsy gets married, that really, really hit me. I was like, damn, you know what I mean? That character's been through so much. It's something special about Golden Circle. I really enjoyed that. I'm just shocked people don't like it. But, I'm not talking about, that was my choice for the second movie, but enough talking about that. We're going to talk about the third movie and why I think this is the third movie. As you guys all know, there's only 3 Kingsman movies, and of course you guys are all know by now, the third movie that I like, but I don't love it, and it took a minute to me to, reminisce after my review, that I even kind of felt it in the theater, but I was like, I don't know, because that second act was just so good. The last act was just so good of the movie, and the beginning was really good too. But I'm gonna be honest, guys. The Kingsman was not what I expected, and I think that's why I don't really like it as much now. When I got to really think about it, is because when I went into this movie, I expected something different from what I saw in the trailers. The trailers made me feel like, okay, this is the Kingsman movies we like. This is the same tone Matthew Vaughn is giving us, but this is a prequel on how the Kingsman started. But when I went into this movie was not really what I thought it was going to be, and I felt that after the beginning, and we really get into, and it's kind of repetitive because his son wants to keep going in war, but but his father keeps telling him no, and that really goes on for a while, and the whole people going into war, staying out of war, getting involved in war, getting out of war, and I was just this is kind of getting boring, and a lot of people felt that from what I've been hearing from people's reviews, that people didn't like that. It really started getting slow after the first bit, and it really started getting slow until the last act. And again, there were some shocking moments in this movie, especially when where I really want to get their names right, so I'm gonna look it up because I really want to know. I forget their names already. And I feel like that's also a little bit of a problem. It didn't really sink into my head what their names are in the movie. And I want to make sure I can at least specify real quick. So we're on it right now. Okay, Orlando Oxford. I think that's how you spell it. Orlando, Oxford. Yeah, Orlando Oxford. He is the father of Connard. He is the father of Connard, and Connard's the one that wants to go and fight in World War I. But of course, his father doesn't want to let him do that because his father, of course, promised to his wife to keep him out from harm's way. And we really see that through the movie, is that's kind of what the story is a father that just wants to keep his son and protect him, and wants to show his son that fighting in that war and fighting in war, especially in that one, was not the right path to do the right thing. He wanted to show him the Kingsman path on this is the right way to do it, not to fight in that war. And we really see that throughout the movie. And the moment where Connard tricks, Orlando, and goes into war, and ends up getting shot in the head and getting killed. That was a shocking moment for me because I was not expecting that, because I thought he was going to be the Eggsy of the world of that time period of that time period. I thought he was going to be that our Eggsy in that time. And I thought, Orlando, the father, was going to be the Harry. That's what I thought. And when he died, I was like, holy crap! I was not prepared for that because they thought he was a spy, which that shocked me. I was like, wow. And it was very sad when it happened and he died. I felt the emotion, but and I really enjoyed the last act because, them, going to take out the shepherd, which that's the villain of the story, and he has his flock of, of villains. And we really see that through the movie where, he had, Orlando has to take down, with his Kingsman team, take down the big bad, and we end up finding out it was somebody that, Connor trusted. Or, and they all trusted, and ended up he turned their back, I guess, on everybody and played everybody. And pretty much that was really a shocking moment because I didn't see that coming. But at the end of the day, the movie didn't feel like what I expected it would feel when I was watching the trailers. I liked this last act. It felt like Kingsman at that point. I was like, okay, this feels like Kingsman. I like this. And we get the explanation of the Knights Around the Round Table, giving everybody their iconic names that we know, of course, from the original, from, Kingsman, Secret Service, Merlin, of course, Lancelot, Merlin, Lancelot, Galahad, all their names. We end up, Arthur, we end up getting the reason of why they gave them everybody the names of the Knights Around the Round Table, and we get that story in this movie. I love all that too. When we get the mini hints to why things go down the way they go down in the Kingsman movies, and why they're named that they have the names that they have, why their gadgets are the way the gadgets are, which those were cool moments too. But a lot of those moments were at the end of this movie. And I felt like the majority of this movie was, I was like, where's all the action? Where's all the mystery? Where's all the, not mystery, but where's all the understanding what's really happening? Because they would just cut back and forth to this villain chopping off, ram's horns. And I was like, what the hell? Or goat's horns or whatever. I was like, what the hell? Rams or goats? I don't quite remember, but I think it might have been a ram, or a goat. I don't know. But I think it was a mountain goat because it was up in the mountain, so I'm assuming a goat. But you get my gist. It just did not feel the way I was feeling when I was watching the trailers. And I was like, this kind of disappoints me. But it was acceptable enough where I'm like, okay, the ending delivered, but it isn't enough for me to make this my first choice on my ranking list or my second choice. That's why I'm giving it the third ranked movie, the lowest, because again, it just was not what I expected. And it's true, because when you think of a Kingsman movie, you think of color, you think of stylistic fights, you think of, what else? You think of different, angles in the fight sequences. You think of great gadgetry throughout the entire time, a great story, and it just felt very, World War One. And it felt very much like a war movie. And I think that's what maybe Matthew Vaughn wanted to do, because this was a time where everybody lost their heirs, and that explains why everybody put all their money into the Kingsman Agency. This was the moment, the pinnacle moment, where he knew that, again, that everybody lost their heirs. That's a big thing, and why Orlando thinks of the war of being, I guess in his way, pointless. That's what he thought. Saying, don't fight in a war that you're just gonna die, and it's in that war, don't do it. And we really saw why the Kingsmen and everybody gathered behind each other to make the Kingsmen, because everybody lost their heirs, and it was such a tragic time. And that really makes sense that it was meant to be a war movie in a way, because that's what makes sense, is that there wasn't a lot of jokes in this movie, which makes sense because, again, it was around World War One, and I understand Matthew Vaughn wanted to take things a lot seriously because that was a serious time. So that's why I'm like, okay, it's good enough that we get the understanding of why things happen the way they happen in our Kingsman movies, and I appreciate it. It wasn't too bad, but it wasn't enough where I'm like, okay, this is the best one out of all of them, because it wasn't. It would stay on my third ranked list. It can't move up anymore, because this movie just cannot touch the first two Kingsman movies. But it was good enough that gave me an explanation on why things happen the way they happen. And I'm happy Matthew Vaughn delivered, at least on that, and why and giving us like little winks to why, you know what I mean, to the gadgets that upgrade into the gadgets we know, and their names, and back then to make sense to why we have the names in the Kingsman movies, and hints to Eggsy's great whatever, like his, like, I guess his ancestral, like, you know what I mean, like one of his ancestors or whatever, I don't even know, or I mean, like, I guess his ancestral tree goes back to World War I, where one of the soldiers ends up being in you know what I mean, what is it, Eggsy, I forget what it is, but being one of Eggsy's, relatives, essentially. So that's, you know what I mean? So that was crazy. So, I'm being an Unwin. Yeah, an Unwin. So that was really crazy. So I really enjoyed the movie, like, at the end and a little bit in the beginning, but it isn't enough. That's why I give it the third ranking. And I really want to know what you guys think. What how you rank these movies. I really want to know how you rank them. Again, this might have been a little bit long of a video, but I really want to make it make sense on why I rank the movies, the Kingsman movies, the way I rank them. Because again, I love these movies, and it really didn't take me too long to be like, okay, the Kingsman is definitely going at the end, because there was so much, like, boring, like, it was just so much of too much war stuff, where it's like, it didn't feel like a Kingsman movie until the end, until the very beginning when they're explaining the names. It felt so much like a war movie. It didn't really feel like a Kingsman movie. But it gave me enough of a Kingsman feel when we got to the gadgets, we got to the stylistic fighting at the end. I just wish we had more of the missions, different missions maybe the father went on in this movie. Because, I mean, what we saw in the trailers isn't really the tone and feel and the cool action and everything is what we saw in the movie. And that kind of annoyed me. They might have cut out a lot of things, because a lot of things in the trailers weren't even in the movie. So, I don't know. This movie did not have to get held back all that time. That's kind of annoying, because I wish it would have just dropped on a streaming service, because it just feels like it really wasn't worth the wait. And it sounds messed up, but I mean, at the same time, I just felt like it really wasn't. But yeah, guys, I really want to know what you guys think down in the comments below of how you rank the Kingsman movies. Have you guys seen The Kingsman? And if you guys have, I'm assuming that's why you're watching this video and want to know what my ranking videos are. But I want to know, did you guys like The Kingsman movie? And do you guys kind of get where I'm coming from? Did it feel like a Kingsman movie? Did it really feel like one? Because I don't think it did, except the couple of winks at the screen and a couple of fight sequences that happened when they happened. It felt like a Kingsman movie. But other than that, it doesn't touch the first two Kingsman movies. I want to know, what do you guys think about the way I ranked the Kingsman movies? And I also want to know how you rank them. How do you guys rank them? If you guys have seen the third movie, awesome. How would you rank it? If you haven't seen the first movie, I meant the new Kingsman movie, the Kingsman movie. How do you rank the first two Kingsman movies? I really want to know. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think about the rankings and how you would rank them. I want to know how you rank them. And also, I want to know, are you guys excited for the third Kingsman movie? I'm super excited for the third Kingsman movie. I cannot wait. I love the first two Kingsman movies, as I just said previously. And I cannot wait to see Eggsy's storyline continue. I'm super excited. I can't wait to see Taron Egerton back in this role. I love him in this role. I think he's going to be like honestly, he's like going to be like, I don't know, maybe like the Iron Man of the Kingsman movies, honestly. I think he's going to like make cameos and stuff in the series and stuff like that. I could see that happening, or mentions to him or something. I feel like he's such a pinnacle part why people love the Kingsman movies. I think also, because also I heard from when people reviewed the Kingsman, people didn't like it because Eggsy wasn't in it, even though it wouldn't make sense for him to be in it because it's a prequel. But it's like, when you have such a great character like that, some people have a hard time watching stuff without the character being there. And I think that's also why people didn't like, Golden Circle so much, is because when people thought, when Harry came back, people were like, oh, but that was such a good way, like, when they killed him, why is he back? But it fits the storyline, and people didn't like how, like, you brought him back and this and that and everything. And I'm just super excited to see where they go with this third movie. I'm super stoked. But again, guys, that was my video on how I rank the Kingsman movies. Again, I love this franchise. I love the way Matthew Vaughn does these movies. Again, I really hope Matthew Vaughn makes a third Kick-Ass, not a reboot. I don't want that. A third Kick-Ass, I'm really hoping, but that I talk about in a whole nother video. You know what I mean? So if you want to go check out that video where I'm talking about Kingsman 3, and I'm talking about, the Kingsman and everything, you know what I mean? I made a video specifically me talking about everything Kingsman. Go check out that video, and then go check out my spoiler review for the Kingsman and everything and all that stuff. But again, it's changed since I made that review. I said it was good, but I didn't say it was like beating these two. I didn't even really mention it because I knew I was going to do this ranking. But, I mean, again, I even say that there was a lot, like, I liked it in the beginning, and I liked whatever, but again, there was just so much slow parts in this movie. And it almost went away from being a Kingsman movie and turned into a war movie. And it's not kind of what I signed up for. But yeah, guys, that was my ranking video. Again, I hope you guys like it. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, put on those notifications, like this video. I'd love to have you guys here, part of this family on this channel. We're all about spreading love, positivity, and motivation. And guys, we have some big things coming to the channel, whether it comes to Cobra Kai coming out this Friday, Cobra Kai Season 4. I am super, super excited for Cobra Kai Season 4. If you guys have been here a part of this channel, you guys know I'm a big Cobra Kai fan. And I'm flipping out. I cannot believe it's this Friday. I'm flipping. Tomorrow, I'm literally going to be doing a vlog video with my bro Jamie and my friend and my bro Troy. If Troy comes, I'm not sure if he's going to be coming or not. He said he was going to be coming, so I'm super excited. So, and hopefully, my other bro Ben can show up and we can all get the gang together and make a cool vlog for you guys. Either way, I'm vlogging tomorrow. Regardless on who's showing up, I know me and Jamie are going to be going to the mall. And I'm super excited for that again. I'm going to be doing a vlog, and I'm actually going to be going to the mall because me and my bro are going to be, taking photos tomorrow. I'm going to be taking photos from my bro Jamie tomorrow. You know what I mean? He wants to, he made a cosplay Instagram, and he's going to be doing stuff on there, and he wants me to take some photos of his Doctor Who stuff because that's what he likes. And I'm super excited to take photos for him tomorrow. I'm super excited because also tomorrow I'm going out to go get my Cobra Kai Eagle Fang karate shirt tomorrow. So I'm super excited for that. So I hope you guys tag along with me. My vlog will be up tomorrow. I'm really thinking about some different things, besides my Cobra Kai spoiler review that will be up again on Friday, if I didn't mention that before, because I mentioned I was excited, but not mentioned I'm going to be doing a spoiler review that Friday, hopefully, when I'm going to binge it all in the morning into the afternoon, and I'll drop my review sometime, maybe, late afternoon, maybe, late, evening. I don't even know, but it's going to be up on Friday. But yeah, guys, literally we have some big things coming. So I'm super excited. So again, I'm still here, guys. I'm still dropping videos for you guys. I'm also I had a job interview today for a new job. So I've just been super, super busy trying to think of video ideas, along with thinking of me doing this, finding a new job and getting an interview today for a new job, and also me. What else is some things that are going on right now? Me trying to find some time to go to the gym and work out. And just, because again, my health is super, super important, especially my mental health, and it helps me when I go to the gym. It helps my mental. So, it's just really good to get to the gym. Along with also, what else? I'm trying to think of some other things. Along with also, a lot of our shows, are postponed until next year. For the new year. So again, also I'm going to be doing a New Year's, if not vlog, a New Year's, wishing everybody Happy New Year's, and and just, what I mean, and say what I'm thankful for, and what I can't wait to achieve in the new year. But guys, that was the video. Again, if you're new to the channel, I would love it if you come join this fam. But guys, again, hope everybody has a great day, a safe day, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.